Hello and welcome to the 198th episode of the Brian Hornback Experience, coming to you from the Old Forge Distillery Podcast Studio. Got my man Kaz Walker right there. He's since passed away, but we got the infamous Time magazine, Life magazine cover picture of him taking a swing at a city councilman here in good old Knoxville, Tennessee. And of course, JB, go Bigs, go home. Your Knox County trustee running for re-election on May the 5th in the Republican primary. Early voting is April the 15th through the 30th. So, our friends up at Old Forge Distillery, they're located up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and they make all kinds of good elixirs. If you cannot drink them with moderation, then please don't. Anyway, just going to come on here on the 198th episode. Thanks to our friends at Gasoline Invertebrate for that song. We used Move to Knoxville as our theme song. Thanks to them for that permission to use Move to Knoxville. You can find them on all the streaming services. Move to Knoxville is actually on one of their older projects. Is called Crash and Burn, and Burn and Burn is the project that Moved to Knoxville is on. So anyway, gonna get on here and we're gonna talk about the daily paper. You know, as most of you know, the daily paper is something I like to talk about because they're just pitiful, horrible. But just want to highlight a couple of things they've really messed up on. And really, I don't know that it's the whole paper as much as it is the local writer that they've got assigned to the government beat. Young lady in her early to mid 20s. But the most recent example is the story that came out a couple of days ago. This is Monday. This is President's Day. So this would have come out, I believe, on Friday. It was an article about a new candidate coming in the Knox County clerk's race. So on Thursday, we had a fourth Republican candidate come into the Knox County clerk's race. Richie Beeler, former county commissioner from up east. Rodney Lane, who was operations manager for the county clerk's office for a number of years under clerk Mike Paget, is running. John Whitehead, former property assessor, is running. And now we have John Duncan III. He was a former trustee, Knox County trustee, tax collector, banker. And now he's he's picked up a petition to run for the county clerk's position. Anyway, when this young 20, mid 20-year-old wrote about it on Friday, I'm sure she was in a big hurry to get the story out on Friday. I'm sure the newsroom was just hopping with three people, and I'm sure they wanted to beat Brian Hornback and the Mega Bullhorn of Truth on that story. So when she put it up, she referred to him as the son of Congressman Jimmy Duncan, who served for almost 3 decades as our congressman here in Knoxville and East Tennessee, which she was right about that. He is the son. He's one of 4 children to Congressman Duncan. Their first child was Tara Duncan, and then I believe John was next, and then I believe Whitney was next, and then I believe that Zane was last. I know Zane was last. But anyway, so Congressman Duncan and his wife, now passed away, Lynn, had 4 children. So John the third is one of those 4. But he stood up at the Crown College luncheon on Thursday and said that he had just that morning picked up a petition to run for county clerk. Now, just because you pick up a petition doesn't mean you're really going to run. It's when he turns that petition in and he has 25 certified signatures that he becomes a candidate. And, you know, I talked to John Thursday evening. From all indications is he's doing it. He's ready to roll. And so that's likely to happen. But where this young 20-year-old reporter might have gotten it wrong, did get it wrong, was that she said that he was the brother, John III is the brother of a state senator here in Knoxville. Now, I'm going to leave that state senator's name out because I serve on the state executive committee of the Tennessee Republican Party, the same district that my state senator, who's been the state senator since, I think, 2013. So I'm going to leave her name out because John would actually be her nephew. So it'd be his aunt, not his sister. And so obviously 6:30 in the morning on Friday morning, I read it. I obviously recognize the reporterette, Joel Christopher's best and brightest. He's the publisher of the daily paper. Has made an error. I put it out on X. I put it out on Threads. I put it out on True Social. I put it out on Substack, and I put it out on Reddit. And when I go back later that evening, Friday evening, and I start looking, she updated the online story at 9:30. So for about 3 hours online, it was messed up. It was wrong. It was flat out wrong. Wikipedia, Google, anything would have told you that he and the state senator are nowhere close to being siblings. But to whatever the reporterette was using, it worked for her, and it passed whatever proofreading, proof check Joel Christopher has in place at that big metal shed on the hill with at least 3 people working in it. So it is what it is, but she got it taken down online. The good news is where I posted on X, Threads, True Social, Substack, Reddit, and Facebook, you can't change the print version, especially when you're looking at the e-newspaper and you take a screenshot of it. You can't change it on that. You can change it online, but you can't change it anywhere else. So, look, BrianHornback.com in almost 22 years, we've made mistakes here and there. And, yeah, we'll correct them, just like she did. But I don't think we've ever made that egregious of a mistake or error. Or fiction. Maybe they're fictional writers, maybe. But that's the first incident. Let's talk about another incident. Another instance where basically she was copying what BrianHornback.com had done for years, which is I would take every candidate running and I would write about who gave, who contributed to a candidate and where their money was spent. I've since refrained from doing a lot of that because it makes a lot of insiders mad when you start revealing who they're spending money with and who their campaign strategist is. But it was interestingly enough that this young reporter at the daily paper has now started doing that just this election. So apparently she's had enough time now in Knoxville to start going back and reading the BrianHornback.com stuff and thought that this was probably a good way to start. And so, she wrote about some strategists who everybody kind of knows about that's in politics. And every strategist they're like candidates. They have people who like them, people who don't like them. Interestingly enough, she decided to throw in BRH LLC, which is the parent company of BrianHornback.com and the MegaBullHornetTruth.com, as a strategist. I'm not really sure that what I do is considered strategy. It's candidates who are trying to reach out to my audience, just like these same candidates when they choose to advertise with the daily paper. They're trying to reach those readers. Now, granted, they don't have as many readers as I have, but, that's okay. Where these folks spend their money advertising, probably is important, and I'm happy to. The people who advertise with me. I'm appreciative of them, and appreciate them using some of their limited resources to advertise on brianhornback.com, the megabullhornettruth.com. But to say that someone who's advertising is a strategist is a stretch. But the other problem she had in that list is that she selectively left people off. Now you say, well, how do you know she left people off? Well, because I know who my advertisers are. And what she was reporting was through January the 15th, right? So that's when the period is up. And so she left some off. She selectively only chose one sheriff candidate instead of, until Chief Lyon died, 3 were advertising from September until December. She left 2 of them off. Of course, I understand leaving Chief Lyon off because, he's since passed away. Probably not relevant. But she left off some others that were in there in December and early January. She probably doesn't want her publisher to know that she probably looks brianhornback.com, megabullhornettruth.com, and that's okay. I don't mind. I mean, she's told enough other folks in politics that she reads me on a daily basis. So that's fine. I mean, I've gotten the word, and obviously I can tell by her writing skill and her writing style that she's checking the website out, and I appreciate it. I don't have a problem with it. But yeah, interestingly enough, when I contacted them back when they were doing the big, when she was doing the Biggs derangement syndrome for our Knox County trustee Justin Biggs, back in the spring and summer when she was doing all of that writing, I contacted her publisher Joel Christopher and informed him through an email that she had gotten a few things wrong, and his only response to me was, "What did she get wrong? Who was it?" Look, I do this as a part-time side thing, right? I'm not going to help them. I mean, she's supposedly an investigative reporter, right? So why would I help by giving them so that they can correct the errors? As far as I know, she's still not corrected those errors. She left she named an old employee who'd been there for a great number of years listed as a new employee. So, if you can't even get start dates and end dates of employees right, then, you probably ought to just go back to Missouri, I guess, Anyway, my whole point in this is just to kind of put it out there, let y'all know. There's no cost for going to the Mega Bull Hornet Truth or brianhornback.com. So there's really no point in you continuing to spend money on the daily paper, either through digital or print. Just continue to come to brianhornback.com, the megabullhornettruth.com. And, if I get it wrong, I'm going to come out there and say, I got it wrong, and I'm going to correct it. You're not going to get that from the daily paper. They're going to go in on the online version, and they're going to delete it. And thankfully, when she corrected it, the particular story on John III, fortunately, when the reporterette did, in fact, correct it, they simply eliminated the entire line about the state senator, which that's the reason I'm not naming the state senators, because I think that was the greatest, that was the best response you could have. But it also absolves her of having to admit that she got it wrong by just deleting it online. And, there's probably not enough people that pick up the print paper to really matter. But it is President's Day. It's a day that we remember some of our greatest presidents: Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, some of our greater presidents so whatever side of the fence you're on, whichever president you value the most, then take this day to remember them. Primarily, this is a day for federal employees, government employees, banks to be closed. It's a Friday. And so, I'm sorry, it's a February. There's a mistake. Let's fix that one. It's a mistake. It's a February holiday, not a Friday holiday. And so, it's a time that we can remember our presidents and really reflect on how our country was founded. And the great thing about it is it's founded on free speech. It was created through free press. And so I have the ability in my off time when I'm not working for the Knox County in the trustee's office that I can do and say what I want to do and say when I'm not working. And today's a holiday. And so you're getting a Brian Hornback Experience podcast right here in the middle of a day when normally I would be working and not able to do this, because normally you have to put up with me in the evenings or on the weekends. But this is the 198th episode of the Brian Hornback Experience, coming to you from the Old Forge Distillery Podcast Studio. Appreciate my folks up there at Old Forge. And y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you again at the end of the week. See y'all.